Hello and welcome to another mod showcase. I finally feel happy enough with this load order to release it for you all to see. This is my fantasy load order. I've been playing with it for a good long while now and it's been very stable, performed really well, it fits many styles of play and I am extremely happy with it. I'm trying to make sure I don't get caught up using the same mods in each order, so I try and change some staples out for other options each time. That being said, some things like Kontrol for example are absolute must for me. I also start every load order with the spine of my previous and try and update it from there, meaning I'll change little things here and there. This time for example, I decided to use Old Kingdom instead of Variations or Nord War UA, but reversing it if you prefer another mod is very easy and that's something I always try and write into my orders, hopefully making them easy to adapt into your own. That being said, if you do need any help, please don't hesitate to ask. For even easier access to myself, get involved in the Discord channel. A link is in the description. It's filling up with really knowledgeable people who are extremely helpful and love Skyrim just like we do. The same can be said for a link to a Reddit page you'll also find in the description. Anyway, back to the order. This is, as I've already stated, my fantasy order. It blends light and dark fantasy. The wilds have been filled with more and more enemies and spawns, my favourite of which is the woolly rhino by Mahale's Monsters and Animals. They're quite similar to mammoths and will leave you alone unless you get too close. If you do, you're in for a proper fight. However, they suffer from the same issues as the cows in real wildlife. They will fly off when defeated. It's kind of annoying, but they look really great in the background and I like having them in. Under advisement from some friends, I've added in more werewolves to the world space as well as vampire attacks in the cities. Vamps and wolves are after all classics and they were spot on. They add in a lot of experience and they're a challenging fight if using my combat setup, which I will also pin in the top corner right now. When it came to textures, I really wanted to try and retain some of that realism given by the organic mods, but as we know these packages take up a lot of room, so I kept them to a minimum using only the landscapes and dungeon packs. They look great and they cover a ton. The landscapes are really cheap and arguably have some of the best mountains, road and definitely snowy areas. I wanted to get that level of realism and detail, so when I threw things in like my current flora setup, the contrast would be there. It also allows for the changes in weathers to really take hold and swap the fantasy from light and dark depending on the climate, and with Kind's weathers, you get some of the most beautiful, deep and really impactful weathers. One of the things I really love about Kind's is the access to so many different weather types, as well as settings to tweak the weathers a little for yourself. It's probably the most daunting to set up with a minimum of 3 files, 5 if you use True Storms and its patch, but what you get is definitely worthwhile. This setup, coupled with one of my all-time favourite mods in display enhancements, can really bring an order together in such a massive way. I'm currently using presets 3, 9 and 10, sometimes throwing 28 in for a lot blur. This setup comes up in Discord a fair amount and people who see it tend to quite like it. I call it my bleak setup, and I think it kind of makes the colours look a bit more realistic, but also a little bit greyer. I like that style, but not everyone does. If you want something a bit more in line with fantasy, I would actually use presets 9, 13, 16 and 17. This will make the colours pop to take more advantage of mods like Mari's Flora all in one. The trouble here is I feel like I may have done a video on pretty much every mod in this order in the run up to making the video. I've shown off my AI, my fun side game in Triple Triad, my trees, flowers and plants, my combat mods, my dungeons and lighting too, as well as my character mods. This has happened because I've really enjoyed the playthrough and testing, so I hung on for longer than usual and did more missions. I'm happy to report 0 crashes in over 100 hours of play. The worst this order gets is lag inside Riften. However, if you drop city trees, you'll see that problem solved. I just happen to love the view. There's also a few hundred megabytes of space remaining for you to add in your favourite types of mods, and plenty of wiggle room to make the mod order changeable to your own style. I'm thinking spell mods like Triumvirate, Apocalypse or Cosmic Spells could add a lot to this order, but realistically I would chop and change this order to fit the playstyle you're aiming for. It could easily be adapted into a medieval fantasy for example with a few simple moves. Firstly, change the trees all the way down to either Skyrim Flora Overhaul or even Dark Ages Trees of the North, freeing up even more space. I'd then maybe change up armours, clothing or even weaponry to match the style you're after. I say this because those kind of tweaks would turn this into more of a Witcher styled game, which could be a really fun order to play. But now I am done waffling on and I am going to end the video. I'll leave the order rolling on, but you will find it and my other orders linked in the description, as well as a full order write-up as well. Remember to join the Discord server for extra help you may want or need, and as always likes and subscriptions really help me out. Comment with what you'd like to see me do next and any load orders you'd like to see me try and create. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.